Hi there. So if you have an action camera like the DJI Action 5 Pro, then you want to be able to mount it in different ways. You want to be able to be creative with it. So if you've looked at my thumbnail, I'm talking about these little clamps like this one. These are like the Legos for camera people. That's what gets me excited about these, because you can configure your camera in different ways. You can attach one to another one. It's only limited by your imagination. So if you want to know more about these little clamps and these little powered selfie sticks that have little batteries in them, then keep watching, because you're watching Blue Collar Guy. Okay, we're back. So if you have a DJI Action 5 Pro, or if you have a Pocket 3, which is what I'm looking into, or maybe you have a DJI Action 4, or maybe you have a GoPro, then you're going to want to take a look at some clamps, because clamps give you the flexibility of mounting it to your bicycle. They give you the ability to mount it to, like if you want to mount it to a pole and you want to get a different kind of an angle shot, that sort of thing. This one comes with the little fingered GoPro mounts, but it also has the 1/4-20 thread in this little kit. So we're going to unbox this one, and we're also going to unbox this one, and I'm going to talk about how I'm going to use these two devices, not just for my action cameras, but for when I'm doing actual cinematography, because you can use it for other types of cameras as well. There's all kinds of adapters you can get so that you can power different things, not just the one thing. So if you've looked at other videos and they've talked about this Telesin powered selfie stick, they usually talk about how it relates to the GoPro cameras, because it comes included with the little cover door already with the hole in it so that you can hook it up to your GoPro. But DJI cameras obviously are becoming more popular, and people want to hook stuff like this up to their DJI cameras. So we're going to show you how you can do that and how flexible it is. So let's go to the downward shot. We're going to start unboxing these things and see just what you get in the box and how flexible these things really are, because they're not just for cameras. You can use them for other things too, and we're going to talk about that as well. So let's go to the downward shot, and here we go. And now I've got myself in the corner, and we're going to start with this little guy right here. So this one's fairly straightforward. It comes packaged fairly good. And the one thing I will say about Telesin, because I have other products too, let me just go back to me for a quick second. So I have other types of clamps too, and I'm just going to show you this because we do need to do a comparison between some of them and some of the other ones. So this would be small ring clamps, and as you can see, these little clamps are, quite flexible, and you can even tighten this little part here, and you can make them stiff, and you can freeze them in whatever direction you want to have them. And the Telesin ones pretty much do the same thing, but I'm going to be talking more about them because they tend to be of a lower cost. Now, full disclosure, Telesin did send me these for review. This is not a sponsored video. That means that they did not pay for the production of this video. It is not a scripted video, so it's not an infomercial. They just sent this to me so that I could check them out. And I actually requested this one here, the one that I'm going to show you, because it has the plastic connector instead of the metal one, as opposed to the small rig one, which has the metal one. And we're going to talk about, well, which one do you actually need, because they make two versions of this. So let's go back to the downward shot. Okay, so we're on the downward shot, and this is what you get in the box. So it has one of these clamps. Now this particular clamp here is made of plastic. It's not made of metal. Some of them, they do make a model that has metal. Now it does have metal fittings, and this part of the clamp here, and they're really in there, I might add, this is made of like a composite, and this part here is metal, and this is also a composite. This part here is metal, and it is pretty durable looking, and it's got a little rubber O-ring. And this would be your GoPro style mount. And you would simply just change this one as opposed to this little guy here. So if that's what you're looking for, I'm just going to adjust my light there. So if you're going to look at that one as opposed to this guy here, this one has this little ball here, as you can see, and this part just rides into here. So you simply just unloosen this, and then you put this little guy in here, and it snaps in place like so. So if you want to use this one, you can use that one. And then this little guy here goes over on this side. You may have to loosen it off a bit more. And then you can just tighten these guys up like so. And there we go. I got the name. Okay. So as you can see, even though, so I'm going to go back to me for a quick second. So even though this part is made out of plastic, it's more of a composite plastic. So it's not weak. If I was to clamp down on this really hard, I'm not hearing anything like a crack or anything like that. It's just, you know, the plastics today are not like the plastics of yesteryear. Now, I will say that if you were going to attach this to a bicycle and you were going to be doing some rough riding, like things where you're going to be getting like impacts on this, or it's just a really, really brutal situation where this is going to be getting put through its paces, then you may want to consider upgrading to the one with this is made of metal. I'm going to show you a double clamp that I have here from Telesin. So I did a review on this one. This piece here on this one is made of metal. So this is an aluminum one. And it's got the same type of composite clamps on this. And it's very, very durable, very strong. I've been using this for a few weeks now. These clamps here come in handy for if you have to clamp one onto a pole and then you want to grab another pole. Maybe it doesn't have a 1/4-20 mount on it or that sort of thing, but they come in handy for that. So that's what I mean. Like, these are like the Legos. Like, if you have a situation, you're like, how can I make this microphone work? Like if I need to boom it or whatever, and you don't want to have to go buy something, you can use these clamps to kind of make your own setup, because maybe it's something you're only going to use once in a while, or it's a one-shot deal, and you don't want to have to go spend $80 or $100 to try to buy a specific thing or something that is very specific use for that. And the other nice thing is they're not that big. So when you get these little guys, you know, they don't take up a lot of space. So I could mount a regular camera on a bicycle with this mount. You know, if you had like, let's say you wanted to put a ZVE1 on there or something, well, you could do that, or you could take this and put your GoPro or your DJI Action camera on that. So there's two ways you could actually mount this camera with this clamp. So I do have you can get these little connectors. So they make these little connectors, and you know, the nice thing I also like about Telesin is it plays well with other brands. So the one thing I hate about some brands, like I don't know if you've ever looked at Manfrotto or iFootage and those kind of guys, but you have to buy all of their stuff. They don't mix and match well with other brands. So with this little guy here, I got one of these little magnetic clamps that goes onto here, and if I clamp that onto there, and then I go on here, and I screw this on, then look, see? So even though this is a Telesin product, I can clamp it to a small rig connector, and then I've got a 1/4-20 mount on here. Now I also have Telesin connectors too, and I can connect one of them to this little guy here, and then I can clamp it on the same way on that as well. So they come in handy, but I love the fact that it plays well with other brands, because you may already have another brand, but you want to include a different brand, or maybe it wasn't available. But the nice thing is that typically you can get the Telesin ones cheaper than you can get the other ones. So this little guy with the plastic one, I think it comes in under $30. And if you want the one with the metal, same thing, but with the metal here, then it's over $35. So there is a price difference when you're going from the plastic to the metal, but at least they give you an option. Because what if you just wanted to clamp something in a spot and it's not very heavy? Well, you don't need to go and spend the extra money and have a metal connector. Yes, it might be better quality, but it might not be necessary, and maybe you need more than one. So, you know, that would be kind of crazy. Now, the other thing, the reason why I got this with the other devices, I want to show you something interesting on that too. So, but yeah, you should check out the other video that I made on this clamp, because I did one on this clamp and a selfie stick, and I showed different configurations you can do with this one as well. So anyways, let's get this other one here. So now we're going to unbox this little guy here. This is the rechargeable powered selfie stick, and it's a really cool thing, and I'm going to show you why that is. So let's just go back to here, and so this is the rechargeable selfie stick, and I'm just going to grab my remote here because I need to back this off a little bit. Okay, so we have a better shot of, there we go. So now we have this little guy right here. So this is the powered selfie stick. This is like the same material as what you'd find on scuba gear almost. It's like a rubber. So just to go back to me for a quick second. So this little guy here is not waterproof. Obviously it's a battery, but it's rain resistant. So it has covers for this, and it also has a nice, you can tell that if it got rained on while it was plugged in, it's not going to short out on you. But don't submerge it in water by any means. It's not meant for that. But if there's a drizzle out or something like that, you'd be okay with this. It's also got a really nice thread here so that you can connect it without having to turn the whole thing. You know, I like that. That's really nice. And of course, it has the ability to do telescoping while this is connected. So this is all internally ran within the battery. And that's one of the reasons why it has the shape that it does, because it probably has 2 rows of cells in here, because this has got a built-in 10,000, yes, 10,000 milliamp hour battery. Now, if you own one of these DJI Action 5 Pros, you'll know that the batteries that you get for them are 1,950. So they're bigger than the other ones. But that's a far cry from 10,000. So if you were to have to go buy X number of batteries for one of these, I'd say you would need to have at least, so if you're running almost 2, so 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, so 5, almost 5 batteries. This, by the way, is under $100. I think sometimes you can find them on sale for about $80. And if you go to Telesin's website, they usually have coupons and things like that. So I'm going to put a link in so that you can get the best possible deal. And this way you're not having to go through Amazon. You can go directly with them, and you can probably save a little bit more money. But you can buy them on Amazon too if you prefer to do that. But it is a very good quality selfie stick, and it's also got a 1/4-20 thread on the bottom here. So let's go back to the downward shot. Okay, so it also comes with a phone holder, believe it or not. So if you want to use this for your phone, it comes with another GoPro style mount. So if you want to mount your GoPro style mount on there, and then it also comes with this little door. Now this little door here, and I'm just going to go back to me. So this little door is for certain GoPros where you can take the door off of your GoPro and then you can replace it with this little door, and then it's got the built-in pass-through plug so that you can plug your stick right through the door and then maintain a weather resistance on that. So then you would just plug this through here, and then it simply passes through like so. But we're dealing with DJI cameras right now, so I do have a GoPro Max, but I'm not too sure if this door will fit the GoPro Max or not. You don't have to have all of one brand when you're using Telesin products. They're very, very compatible with other brands, which makes them very appealing to me because then you're not pigeonholed into one specific company, which makes them more popular for me. Okay, so I have one of their connectors as well. This is one of their finger mount connectors, and I'm going to show how I can disconnect this one. I'll put this little guy here on there, and then I'm going to put this little guy here, and then we're going to put this little guy here. So this is what I mean. I just love this stuff because it's like, you know, you can just make it however you want it. If you want a 1/4-20 mount, you can have a 1/4-20 mount. If you want to have a GoPro mount, you can have a GoPro mount. If you want to have a magnetic mount, you can change the GoPro mount to a magnetic mount. So this is what this stick now looks like with the Action 5 Pro. So now if I want to, oh, I think I've got it. There we go. So I'm going to just tighten it on this side. So make sure that the connector is lined up with the USB port here. And then you can take this and plug that into there. And now you have a powered DJI Action 5 Pro. And see, it says I'm at 81%. So I am charging the unit while I am, and as soon as I plugged it in, it started to charge it. So, and that's very, very handy. And the other nice thing is with this, you don't have to keep twisting the whole thing. You can just twist this little guy here to snug things up, which is good. You've got your tilt ability because you can loosen this to do the tilt. And I can extend the whole thing. That's pretty cool, right? So if you wanted to know if these are compatible with DJI stuff, they're very compatible with DJI stuff. They're just not for GoPro. They're good for both. But if you have both, like I do, you can use them for both. So now we're going to talk about this little clamp. So if you take this little clamp now and you thread this in the bottom, so let's just do this. I'm going to thread this in the bottom. Okay. Look at this little setup I got going on here now. I can loosen this and I can configure it any way I want. It's very flexible, right? I can do that. And now I can clamp this, and it comes with this little insert. So if you've got to clamp it onto something narrow, like a really narrow pipe or just something that's not very big in diameter, then you don't have to worry. You just use this, and then you'll be able to get more clamping pressure on something smaller. But if I wanted to clamp this onto a pole, right? Like let's say I want to clamp this to the desk. Okay, I'm going to clamp it to my desk. So let's just do that. And I'm going to, because I know that this clamp will fit because it opens quite wide. So now I've got it extended to the right position. And now I'm just going to lock this down to make sure that that doesn't move. And away we go. We're done. That's as simple as that. So, and I'm going to just go like this and undo it. And I'm gonna turn it around now so that the lens faces, just to show you how quick you can do that. And right there, done. Now, I have noticed that if I use and I'm just gonna show you the difference, okay? So now we're using this, okay? And this is the one with the plastic fitting. So, as I said before, if you're not doing anything too robust, save some money and get this plastic one. I actually requested the plastic one, just so you know, because I wanted to know what the limitations were. But they also have this guy, and this is a beast. Now, I love these double clamps. You know why? Because guess what? I can clamp on to anything with these. And I'm going to put a link for their double clamp as well. See how I got it like just grabbing onto this, so I don't even need the 1/4-20. And then I'm going to take this clamp and I'm going to put it like so. Okay. And then I can raise the camera up. I can do that. And with the metal ones, you can get a lot more clamping force. See? So, and if I take it and I tilt it off to the side, and then I lock it down, it doesn't move like the plastic one does. So the plastic ones will have more of a limitation on the amount of force at different angles. So it has to do with the clamp on this, right? So the clamping force that it can clamp down on these little ball things here, the metal ones will have more of a force than the other one. So, oops, sorry. Then they'll have more than the plastic ones, okay? But if you're just clamping something simple, like if you're going a vertical mount, and you just want to clamp a camera there, and you're not going too far on an angle where the weight's going to be really pulling on this, you're fine. And you're going to save quite a bit of money. So I like the idea where, you know, it's nice that a company gives you the option. They say, well, you know, if you want a cheaper version, you can have this version. If you want one like this. So some companies, they only give you the other version. And then it's like, well, geez, though, I really want to spend 45 or 50 bucks every time on one of those. And just to show you, I have, you know, I have the competition. So here's the competition, okay? Competition looks like this. A little bit different quality on the build, you know. This is small rig, and their clamps have a different feel to them, and they also, you know, they're not bad. They're not bad. I'm not knocking them. They're all of these companies are different in their own way. But if you look at their clamps versus the Telesin clamps, there's a different shape to them. They don't include the little middle part. And this part is all metal, and they use a composite. But this is a good composite, so it's not going to crack or break on you. It's very, very durable, because I've been using them, and trust me, I'm pretty abusive. So, and then they use this kind of a lever thing. Some people might like that, but I find that sometimes when you're trying to clamp it, this can get in the way. So I'm not a fan of that. And I bought these with my own money, so, you know, I can tell you, I pretty much say what I want about them. And I'm going to test, let me just test something here. So I'm going to take this one off, and I'm going to put this one on. So now if I take the small rig clamp and I went to go put it onto here, it's going to struggle a bit more to get onto there. See, because see how the jaws are? The jaws are a little different on this versus these guys. You see what I mean? The jaws are different. It's a different configuration, okay? It's a different configuration. It's more of a pinch, which could actually leave indents in your stuff. So I would probably use the 1/4-20 mount on this side and go that route. And then I can loosen this up. Now, here's the camera with that mount. And then I'll raise it up a bit. So, it's a little bit wobbly. It's got a little bit of play in it. Let me just see if I can get rid of that play. There. It's snugging it up. There we go. So it's got a little bit of play in it. I eliminated some of it. Now, if I take this and then I put it off to the side and then I clamp it, it'll still, see it's dropping. So, and that's the metal one, okay? So that's a metal one, all right? So vertical is kind of where you want to be. So if you want to be able to go off axis, then this double clamp by Telesin is probably a good choice for that. So if you want to go on an angle like this, you can also use this in conjunction with these to add more support. So if you're on the back of a bicycle and you want to have one clamp onto the bar, and then you want to have another clamp onto another bar of the bicycle to keep this from drifting, because that's what that is, it's drifting down. And people have destroyed their cameras that way. Oh, yes. As a matter of fact, I remember one YouTuber, he had a camera mounted, and because he only had it clamped on the one side, it went all the way down and the camera lens started dragging on the ground and he destroyed the camera. So had he had one of these clamps on there, he would have saved that situation. But, you know, I am, you know, but the fact that I can get all of these different name brands to kind of play with each other, that's the whole part about my reference to the Legos, is that, you know, when you went and got Legos when they were a kid, there was the Lego brand, but they also had some knockoffs that worked too. People used to buy those for their kids. So this is what I'm referring to, is that, you know, it's a cheaper alternative, because some of these companies think, well, you know, they're going to just keep buying from me. Like Ulanzi, okay? I'm going to give you an example. So I have Ulanzi, these little claw clamps, okay? And they're great, but they're 35 bucks. They're expensive, you know? You can get these little small rig clamps for your DJI cameras, and they have the little fingers that fold down, but they're $27, which is more money than one of these little guys. You can actually buy one of these with the whole clamp and everything, with the part that goes on the end, because they even include it, cheaper than I can buy one of those. So it's about getting the biggest bang for your buck. And that's one of the reasons why I collaborate with Telesin, is because when I started buying their products, because I started with their little neck mount here, and their little neck mount, because DJI also makes one of these too, and I think they were selling theirs for over 55 bucks at the time, and then I got this one I think for about 35 or 40, and I thought to myself, you know, these things, it works the exact same way. I put it on, it snaps in, you know, and I've been using it on my bicycle for a long time. Oops, sorry about that, I hit the microphone. Yeah, they work absolutely fantastic. And the other nice thing about those neck mounts from Telesin is that you don't need to put the wireless microphone on, because your camera's right here. Your microphone is by your mouth, so why would you need to put a wireless microphone? But right now I'm up to 96% because it's been charging my DJI Action 5 Pro, and I think I showed you at 88%, so it is fast charging this device right while we're doing that. And look, I had the magnet stuck to I had the connector sitting there, and it just stuck onto the side, so that this goes to say. This case, by the way, is also the brand new Telesin case for the Action camera, and I did a review on this one as well. And you can open up, this one allows you to open up the door so that you can change your battery and things like that. So if you want to do that, you can. So that's it for this part of the video. I'm going to show you some footage of this stuff in action, because I'm going to be filming a parade, and we're going to end with that. And I'm going to also include the full footage of the parade on a different video. So, but I'm going to show you how I was using these and how it was working for that. So. Take care, be safe at work, and I will see you at the next video.